you're in London at the moment. I want to ask you, what's the reaction been both in the media and just people you're talking to about Lidia Thorpe's actions yesterday?
Well, it has received quite a bit of coverage in the British media. Fortunately, most of the British press realised what Australians realised a long time ago, in that she's an absolute Fruit Loop. So I don't think they've taken it particularly seriously. But I'll tell you what I think they did take seriously, and that was the response of the various Australian premiers when they decided not to meet Charles and Camilla, which I just thought was incredibly rude and disrespectful. And I think that's the way that it came across there over here as well. So whilst I don't think someone like a Lidia Thorpe has particularly moved the dial, having our state leaders show that lack of respect for the King and the Queen certainly did make the pages of the Telegraph and GB News and the various other media organisations here.
Will, you make a really good point. As outrageous as Lidia Thorpe's behaviour was, the Premier's boycotting that reception for the King was arguably a lot worse. Really good point. While we're on Indigenous issues, I want to get your thoughts on something Indigenous Senator Jacinta Nampijinpa-Price said earlier today. She said that welcome to country is now so ubiquitous, it's almost become a throwaway line, and that maybe we should just reserve it for very special occasions. Have a listen to what she said.
Welcome to country, which has just become a sort of a throwaway, acknowledgement to country, sort of throwaway lines at the beginning of every meeting, every event, every aeroplane flight. It's just become nonsensical now. And Australians want common sense, practical ways forward that really brings that spirit of Australia together.
So, Danica, the suggestion is welcome to country just gets used on very special occasions. What do you think? I don't think we should have it at all, to be frank.
I do not think we should have it at all either. It is overdone. I think people have tuned out to it. They're sick and tired of it. Not even for special occasions. When you've got people like Jacinta Nampijinpa-Price saying, no, it's now irrelevant, that's the sort of voices that we should be listening to, because they're the Indigenous voices that are really the voice of reason. And she's right. You know, you fly from Sydney to Melbourne, welcome to country. I mean, I'm only flying an hour and I'm still being welcomed into my country. But I think there's two parts to this. One, it's the Parliament's fault. It is our politicians' fault, because the welcome to country is still going on in there. Even the other day, when the King was doing an address to New South Parliament, he was standing in front of an Aboriginal flag. Now, I know that the Australian flag was there, but all you could see was the Aboriginal flag. And secondly, it's institutions that are so weak to stand up against it that they feel obliged to do a welcome to country at every event because they fear that they're going to be called racist or bigots. They've got to stand up to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, in just a couple of minutes, Queensland Premier Steve Miles and Opposition Leader David Crisafulli will go head-to-head in the final leaders' debate before polls open on Saturday. Will, I just want to get a very quick comment from you. Surely David Crisafulli wins this election, but is he being too clever by half in this, playing a small target? Just really quickly.
No, I think you need to play a small target. Whenever I see Steve Miles on social media, he's throwing more money away. Queenslanders can't afford it. I think this should be a relatively simple win for the coalition government.
I certainly hope you're right. Will and Danica, appreciate your time tonight. Thanks so much.